Welcome to Haffbreedz podcast. We're not here to find your spirit animal. For all you people who don't want your spirit animal, sit back, relax, drink your Pepsi, eat your fry bread, and enjoy the show.
Yat Eshik is. Welcome to Haffbreedz podcast, where we tell stories about our identity, stories that live in the space between, helping us heal, resist, and remember. Today, we stand with Diné families and friends as flames burn across our homelands. The Oak Ridge Fire is threatening Diné communities right now, and it reminds us of the generations of protectors who have defended these lands before us. In this episode, we're going to talk about the Navajo Scouts and the challenges of protecting the land as Diné and the responsibility we still carry to keep these stories and these homelands alive. When the forest is family, the Oak Ridge Fire tests how we remember, reconnect, and protect our Diné ways. So go grab some gohui, settle in, and let's go walk this path together. Tiens.
Yat-a.
Oh, yat-a.
Welcome back to this very special episode.
Episode 22.
Yes, we've got some things to talk about. Some things that happened or things that are going on as of this moment.
Things that are happening.
Is affecting us personally. If you listen to last week's episode, we had a very special guest, Dr. Georgina Badoni. She's not here
deadly
anymore.
auntie.
We had to take her to the airport. And
we kicked her out at the airport.
We did. She's in Seattle now. She's a Seahawks.
The Emerald City.
Well, she's a Seahawks. So thank you, Dr. Badoni, for being a guest. We did have a little issue, and I'll probably let her talk about that, but we will be doing a part 2 with Dr. Georgina Badoni. There were some things that she wanted to extend on.
To elaborate on.
To elaborate on. So the main topic of our episode is in regards to the fire, the Oak Ridge Fire, which is deeply personal for me. The first time it happened, it was in 2007. And so this is the second fire.
The second
wildfire.
In that area?
In the area.
And what was the name of the first one?
Just the 2007 Oak Ridge Fire.
So they're both Oak Ridge Fires.
They're both Oak Ridge Fires. And when I was looking up to see what the first fire was called, because I wasn't sure if it was called the Oak Ridge Fire, I had to text my auntie and ask her, but she said it was the 2007 Oak Ridge Fire. I was like, oh, well, I tried looking it up online and there's no information on that. And it's so crazy to me. Like, is it because the internet was still trying to hold that kind of information, like archive it? I'm like really perplexed.
I don't know. You'd think some news outlets covered it because they're all over this one.
That I know. I just don't understand why it wasn't a big deal in 2007, and it was a big deal in 2007 because it was a pretty big fire, and you can see it like even from Google Earth, the land that was scorched,
the scorched earth,
the scorched Google Earth,
like the scar it left.
Well, I did post that on my personal Instagram of my Che's house and Grandma's house. And Che's house is still in the forest with his little hogan, and Grandma's is in pretty much the desolate area of where the fire happened.
'07 burn area.
Yes. And you might have to cut out that long pause.
Okay.
Was my point. Oh, okay. I got it. So Grandpa and Grandma, they did live, they were still married. They still loved each other. They were married for over 50 years, probably 60 years.
God damn.
Probably closer to 70 years. I don't know. I keep going up.
Probably like 200 years.
100 years they were married. I think for the latter part of the decade, I want to say 10 to 20 years, they've been living separately. There was a time when Grandma lived in the valley of Clagato in the housing, and because she was spoiled by running water and electricity.
Yeah, I would be spoiled too.
Well, Che loved the outdoors. Che loved that. That was him.
He had that deep connection to that place, that area.
As Indigenous peoples do. And so it wasn't like because there was marital woes or anything like that. It's just how we lived. And Che had his house that he built himself and raised his kids in. And there was, I want to say about mid 2000s is when they built a new house for my grandma. The tribe gave the supplies. I think they went and built that house that we know today for Grandma.
My grandparents did the same thing too. Like my grandpa built that stone house, and then later on he had his own little house like next, like a little ways away from it, but they lived apart even though they were still married.
Did they have a hogan?
Yeah, there was a hogan on the east side of the stone house.
Oh, oh yeah. Okay, I remember. Yeah. So yeah, and then I want to say around that time, Grandpa also had another hogan built, kind of a little bit of ways.
Dang, was it 2-story?
No, my cousin built that one, and on the map on Google Earth, it looks like they're far apart from each other, like Grandma and Grandpa's house. But you've been there. You've walked from one house to the other. It's not that far.
We went camping out there, huh?
Yeah, we went camping at the Hogan place. The old house and Grandma and Grandpa's house are probably, would you say like a quarter of a mile apart?
I'd probably say between a quarter and a half a mile.
Okay. It doesn't feel like half a mile.
No.
I don't know. Maybe because I've made that trip a bunch of times.
Yeah, you're used to it. Yeah.
Yeah. So when they built the house for my grandmother, they also, I want to say they gave some supplies to build a corral and a barn and stuff like that. I'm not sure. Or if everybody pitched in kind of doing that. I'm not too sure about those details, but I do know that a barn was being built in a corral, and that place was also lush with pine trees. It was just all forest.
It was all forest.
It was a place where we could just
relax.
Yeah. To run around and claim our tree houses. And they're good. There's good memories there as a kid, like between Grandma and Grandpa's house. But Grandma's house was built when I was a young adult, so that was new. And then right when it was built and about the same time that the barn was almost completed, that's when the first Oak Ridge fire of 2007 broke out. Grandma, very much like right now, stayed till the very last minute and Che was around at that time too. They really waited until the last minute to evacuate. I believe that they had lost half their livestock and they could only take a few livestock with them. I'm not sure how or why that happened. I know a really good dog was buried under the rubble. He got scared and climbed under the barn and burned up.
Oh.
I'd like to think that he died from smoke inhalation, though. But that was a really good res dog. Can't remember the name of that res dog. It was so long ago. This is almost 20 years ago. And everything around Grandma's house burned but Grandma's house, which was pretty crazy.
Miraculous.
It's miraculous. I remember she had to leave behind a parakeet. They just left it in the house. And you can imagine like everything burning down, right? So the internal temperature of her house had to
real hot.
Have been, like really, really hot. But that parakeet survived. I don't know how. It just did. Parakeet survived. It took a while for them to, like just the aftermath, the restoration process, everything. It was just so devastating. I remember going up there, making trips up there when it was still smoky, taking my mom up there. I remember like odd things from like the aftermath.
So you remember like even after they put it out, it was still smoking.
It was still smoking. The ground was still hot. And this was like weeks after, coals, right? And they last pretty long.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. So, but going up there, I was just like so worried about my tires too. I remember that like, oh gosh, are my tires going to melt?
Gonna pop.
Yeah, going up there, but they didn't. It was just so heartbreaking at the time. It just felt like somebody ripped out my heart. I don't know how else to describe it because it's like a place you knew like now becomes unknown. It just, everything looks different. It's really rips your heart out to know all of that. Grandma's house still stood, and they were able to stop the fire from spreading to Grandpa's house. So Grandpa's house, obviously, you've been there, so it's
still all forest right
foresty.
there.
It was pretty dry.
Yeah,
dry.
When we camped there, it was still pretty dry.
Yeah,
but we were really careful when we set up our fire pit and all that stuff.
Well, that's because you're a Navajo scout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was a Boy Scout too.
A Navajo Boy Scout.
A resed out Boy Scout.
But it's pretty devastating. And then this fire happened, and I'm like thinking to myself, oh, I don't know. I didn't think it would be that close to home again, but because of the zero containment, I think last we heard it's almost at 10,000 acres right now.
Yep, 10,000 acres, zero contained.
But there are several hundred firefighters battling it right now.
Yeah, and they're going to go day and night on this.
I don't know if you know this about containment, but it's like, what is it? Like sectioning off the zones? That's part of the containment process or something?
They do like the ready, set, go.
That's part of it, but it's still zero containment. So it's like they haven't, what'd you say? Dig the wells? Not dig the wells, the trenches? They're
going to dig, the trenches around it. And that's like one of the hardest jobs in the world, they said.
Damn.
And there's this ex-Navy SEAL, his name's David Goggins, and he wants to do like the hardest jobs. So he was a hot shot, and he did that for a year. He said that was the hardest job. Just digging those trenches just all the time. But
I can't imagine it is pretty. That would, I would think, making sense. I wouldn't want to battle a fire. It's too hot.
It's super hot. Yeah. And the people doing that right now is
right. The Navajo hotshots who went to the Southern California wildfires. They were actually brought out to fight those fires. As you know, that was national news, probably global news. It happened in the beginning of this year. Those
in January.
Southern California wildfires. There's like 14 different fires or something like that. And then just a combination of like wind and vegetation.
Yeah, that wind was crazy. That's
Drought.
what kept it going. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and some of the water reservoirs were all empty.
Yeah, it's
So they couldn't use that water to put out those fires. But that one burned like 56,000 acres.
a lot of acres.
A lot of acreage.
A
And
lot of acreage.
James Woods lost his house and he's
Oh my God, you keep saying that. Who cares?
Who cares?
You keep saying James Wood.
Because he's all
He's all for Israel.
yeah, he's all being stupid.
It's devastating no matter if you're a shithead
Yeah.
or not a shithead. Fire is still destructive. It sucks. And right now we are going through that. So I thought we were fine this time around, or like my family, my grandma and all that. Auntie, uncle's still up there taking care of the animals at grandma's. Grandma's back in Klagetoh in the valley, chilling. They literally said she was chilling in the house because she's been through this before. She knows like what to expect.
And it's all bare around from the old fire. It's all bare around the house.
Yeah. And we know that elderly are stubborn, but she is the last of that generation, the elder generation who is culturally tied to the land. And we can talk more about that later, but to just uproot an indigenous person who this is their, ancestral home. It's not that easy. But they're doing okay for now. I mean, even though they're in those crazy zones, half the people did evacuate just because they have somewhere to go for the most part. Those who don't really have, and when I say they have somewhere to go, I mean like they have family in other places.
They're going to a family member's house.
Right.
Yeah.
So some of those people, they just packed up and left. The ones in Klagetoh, that I saw pictures of it this morning and it looked okay.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't look too bad. I think the wind they said was blowing southeast, which is it's towards Lupton. So,
yeah, and we were asking for rain dancers, huh?
we were.
Was some Zuni rain dancers get out there?
And
Am I
then my aunt sent a group text showing that there may be a small rain cloud. So I think it's working.
That'd be cool.
But yeah, they're really on the set zones. So they're really just getting word to when they should be evacuating. I'm thinking that they know when to evacuate. It's, I don't know how else to say. I think it's maybe because they're on desolate land, that what is the fire going to do? It already burned that area. So there's just rocks and dirt. There's not much vegetation going on in that area right now because it was already burned in 2007. I'm just worried for my grandpa's house, my grandpa's place.
Yeah, that's still covered by forest. So.
Yeah. And oh my God, I
would think the wind would go
cry.
blow east, but it does change.
It does.
It goes,
yeah. And that's what I'm really worried for.
I think it changes more now than ever, like with global warming and stuff. Even like living in Sanders, the wind always blew east, and it was weird when it was blowing west, and it was happening a lot more than I ever remember.
Yeah. Winds have gotten crazier. I think that is just the recipe for these plethoras of fires that we've been having.
Yeah, more and more fires. And
right.
There was that fire that someone started in Idaho.
Oh, shit. Yes. I forgot.
Yeah, this guy started a fire, and then the firefighters went out to put it out, and then he started shooting at them, and he killed 2 firefighters.
All because of why?
Well, at what I read, as a 20-year-old guy, the firefighters asked him to move his vehicle, and he didn't like that, so he started shooting at them all.
Why are we killing firefighters? Like
So stupid.
they're the best first responders ever.
They have to have the most training because they do the EMT. Well, they respond to everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I'm like they are the best first responders. They're the better looking ones too. No, I was kidding. Yeah, it just what is wrong with the world? I don't know.
Yeah, that was crazy. And then on the day, what was it June 30th of 2013 was that Yarnell hill fire, where the Granite Mountain hotshots out of Prescott, Arizona.
Oh, now that you say Prescott, okay.
Yeah,
I remember that.
They were that Granite Mountain hotshots were fighting that Yarnell hill fire, and then the winds just turned on them, and the fire killed 19 out of the 20 firefighters. And that was in 2013.
Damn.
Just since yesterday. Yeah, that's crazy.
I saw some Instagram footage, some social media footage of people trying to drive out of the forest fires.
The craziest
That's
one
so scary.
in California, right?
I don't know if it was California, but oh my gosh,
I saw
that is
It looks like hell on earth, huh? It's like
yes, but like oh that's like one of those things that it's like a fear unlocked, like being surrounded and not like knowing how to get, like, you're on the road to get out, but not knowing if you're going to get out because you don't see an end.
Or if your tires are going to blow up because it's so hot.
I would keep driving. Fuck that. I'd drive on the rims.
I'd get out and change it. I'm just kidding.
Stupid.
Remember when we went to the Redwoods?
Yes.
And there was that big fire and we had to we drove through it and then we got on the other side of the hill and then we kept going. But that we were afraid.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we were afraid they were going to shut down the road or something, but we were able to get through before.
Right. That was crazy. That was going to the Redwoods
going
from Sacramento.
there. Uh-huh.
That was wild. I forgot about that.
That was wildfire.
That was wildfire.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want the redwoods to burn up. I'm just really scared for that day too. I hope it doesn't happen in our lifetime, but with the shit going on, you never know.
Yeah, there's been fires there before. Remember when like visitor center burned down up there?
Oh yeah. So this
hot.
Going back to this second go around, this fire,
Oak Ridge Part Deal.
they're saying, I saw a news source saying that it was human caused by wood haulers. I want to know more information about how that could have happened. You're saying by a chainsaw.
That's what I would think.
I'm thinking, like, did they get cold? Did they want to, I don't know, make some hot dogs, s'mores, roast some
Make some s'mores and they just start a big old fire.
You never know. Like,
know.
it could be something dumb like that.
Yeah, it could
But
be.
those, oh my God, those wood haulers. We've had problems with wood haulers ourselves. I remember picking piñons. The last time I picked piñons with my son, aunties, my mommy, we were picking up piñons away. And then these wood haulers kept going through my grandma's place to get the woods. And she kept yelling at them from the side of the road.
Get out of here.
Yeah. And she was venting. What I understood was that you don't, you only take what you need. First of all, they didn't even ask. Like, that's a respectable thing to do.
And did they have wood hauler permits?
Probably, but it's always a non-native white guy who is driving Navajos out there, because these Navajos are like, yeah, they're my relatives, and they're not.
Are they using their wood hauler permit? Because
I don't know.
If they're white,
maybe.
they can't get a permit on Navajo Nation.
Oh, yeah. That's probably why. Yeah. So there's like usually 1 or 2 white dudes that will
That's weird. That's like
employ.
poaching woods.
That's exactly what they do. They're called wood haulers. Anyways, that's what we witness in our time. It's nice when people actually come up and be like, "Hey, can I have some woods?" And they take what they need.
And then you'll be like, just take those ones right there and follow like the cheap twigs and like not even cedar or oak.
There's a lot of dead wood out there that could.
Oh yeah,
I would think like that you need to get rid of from the previous fire. But they don't. They go into the woods and they actually cut down good trees.
Yeah, that's not cool. You're supposed to cut down the dead trees, the dangerous trees.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're not even doing it right. And that's part of colonization.
Because even if you cut down like the green trees, you have to wait like a year for them to dry before you can even burn them.
So I'm really curious about how those wood haulers have started the fire. But yeah, Grandma was always like I always saw them as a menace. Just because they're rude, they don't ask, they ignore you, they take more than they need. They make like 5 or 6 trips up and down the mountain and through the land. And typically, like, especially my grandma's generation, they're not like, this is my land kind of attitude. That's more colonial.
Yeah.
They really try to emphasize the usage of the land. Like, you take what you need. You don't take more than you need. And then you're respectful by asking people, like, is it okay? Usually you barter. I mean, that's a nice thing to do.
We're Indians. We barter.
Exactly. But they don't. But Grandma just kind of went on, like, you don't take more than you need. Like, we belong to the earth. The earth doesn't belong to us. So she really emphasized that. So those, to me, like, wood haulers are menacing. So I'm just curious as to like know like how it started. Like, was it a chainsaw? Because they said it was a rare occurrence for that to happen.
Yeah, well, it could have been an axe and they hit a rock and it sparked. Like, it could be a lot of things. Are there dragon chains? Like how that one fire started out in Heber. Some vehicle was just dragging chains and started a big old fire.
Oh no. Yeah, that does happen. Do you remember the fire? It was like a brush fire. I want to say it was what's that liquor store place?
Lee's Liquor?
No, the one. Witch Wells.
Oh, Witch's Wells.
It was out in that area. Do you remember that brush fire that happened? Oh, God, it was a long time ago. I don't know if that rings any bells. You were probably in San Antonio. You probably don't remember.
Yeah, the latest one I remember out that way was the Heber one. The one going from Holbrook to Heber that burned all the way down, that dragon chains.
Well, there was a fire on that area, that side of town, the Witchwell area. Is that the road to Zuni?
Yeah, 191, and then it connects to the road to Zuni.
Yeah, there's a Zuni. It probably happened on that road. I remember seeing that start out really small. I think a lot of us noticed the little smoke. It was far. I didn't go that far.
Okay.
I watched it I saw it from Hauk. And I was like, there's a little fire. You can see the smoke. That's crazy. And then all of a sudden it blew up. It was a thing. That's how I saw this fire on social media.
Oh, the same thing.
It was a little fire, and now like it burned 10,000 acres. Like, what the fuck?
It can spread fast, especially with the wind. Just feed it.
That I always think people can help, but where are the reasons? Like, we don't have access to water,
running water on the res. Yeah, it's harder.
It is. So it's really sad. But the community is impacted so far. Obviously, Oak Springs, Hunters Point, the Summit area. That's where my grandparents' house is.
Yeah.
I think Klagetoh, Wide Ruins might be on the set now. Klagetoh last I heard, they were supposed to be evacuating.
Mm.
And I think that's just because of the smoke and stuff.
How about Pine Springs? Or is it further?
No, it's further out. I know those two meet, but I don't think it's reached Pine Springs yet. So yeah, that's kind of those communities that are impacted right now. And I read that there are over 300 people now displaced because they had to be evacuated from their homes. And a lot of that too is just that elder generation, and they probably passed down their homes to the next, like our parents' generation. A lot of them do have grazing permits, so they have livestock. Livestock is a big thing out there. You have to have livestock in order to have the land.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some of the home site leases and grazing.
Yep, they require you to have livestock.
And a certain amount of livestock too.
Yep. But nonetheless, you still have to have it in order to have the land. And then they lease it. It's so crazy for you non-native listeners out there, just how we're forced on these lands, but yet you can't own the lands, which is like, because
it's still federal land.
Right. It's a good and bad thing, but the land is still leased out. It's so dumb. Anyways, so let's talk about Navajo Scouts. Those
Scouts out.
Scouts. How did it start?
You mean the Winter Scouts?
How did the Navajo Scouts started?
Winter High School.
It says it started in the 1800s.
Ooh. You mean the original Scouts?
The original Scouts, yes.
Yeah, they're probably helping the army.
Mm-hmm. This is crazy. This is after the whole long walk thing happened.
Mm-hmm.
We're not really supposed to be talking about that, but it was right after that. They were Native or Diné men, obviously, who were recruited by the U.S. Army right after that happened, around 1870-ish, 1873. Which is, I think we need to do a whole nother episode on military. I just, like, after that whole long walk ordeal, why would you want to help the fucking government?
That's what I was thinking. They're like, oh, I'm really good at tracking. I'll help you. They should have just steered them the wrong way.
Maybe they were thinking like that. I don't know. But, in doing a little bit of research, it was, I guess it helped.
Yeah.
Our peoples.
Because kind of like, what choice did they have? They fought against it. They went against it before.
Just like today.
Yeah.
Like, what choice do people have when they get recruited into the military? They purposely target poverty areas.
Yeah.
That's what they did to my mom.
To my brother.
To your brother. So their relationship with the U.S. Army, they were mainly guides and trackers, interpreters. They served as a mediator between the military and Diné people.
Mm-hmm.
They helped. Oh, this kind of bothers me too. But they helped the U.S. Army navigate like the land.
Yeah, because they knew the land. They're from there, and then they showed them where to go.
It says that they monitor potential threats. I'm like, what threats? They were the threat.
I guess they were monitoring them.
And it says they also protected their own communities by helping prevent further conflict and bloodshed, which I could see happening, I guess.
Yeah, that's probably why they agreed to help in the first place.
Yeah, they needed those translators. They needed those interpreters so that they weren't getting duped on all those places that are called forts. Forts on the rays. That's word.
Farts. They need to change all those names.
I know. take the fort out at
Like
least.
Fort
Damn.
Defiance. Fort Courage.
Why did they call it Fort Defiance? Because I believe Navajos were defiant.
They were defiance.
They're like, no.
I don't want to. Yeah.
Fort Wingate, Fort Apache, any other forts?
Fort Hood, Fort Pendleton,
Collins.
Fort Collins. Yeah.
Wet. They did serve alongside other tribal scouts like Apache scouts, just depending on the area of operation.
Yeah, because they probably run into a bunch of other tribes.
It's just kind of like a conundrum how they started, because it's like they wanted to keep their people safe and just have like a set place for them on their own homelands, but they also worked with the government and who forcibly relocated them and from, their homelands.
There are still a lot of descendants from the Navajo scouts out there, and they still protect their lands, and they do it, I think, in different
ways.
Yeah, different ways, like being firefighters or hot shots or first responders or being military, being Navajo PD.
Being a Boy Scout.
Being Navajo Boy Scout.
I never really noticed them out and about. I just hear about them in the news.
Yeah.
I don't know any like, oh, you're a Navajo Scout? Cool.
Or a Navajo firefighter.
Do you know any hotshots personally?
Oh, yeah. A couple of my friends were hot shots, and they would drop into areas, and they would work all over the place. When I go camping with them or up in the Cheskas or something, just watching how they would put out the fire, they would drown it and like make sure.
Oh yeah.
They would like really, and I'm like watching them like, oh, I would just cover it with dirt and I would make sure it was out, but they would make sure it was cold, and so there was like no chance at all. And just watching, like, I know when they were hot shots, they learned it like everything the right way, so that when they would fell trees, they would do it like perfect every time. It was cool.
And when we go camping, that's what you tell us to do.
Oh yeah, I got it from them.
I thought you got that from Boy Scouts.
Boy Scouts, we learned how to do a perimeter around the fire. We'd make, clear it. We build a little, we build a fire, and just make sure there's no trees above or around it.
Mm-hmm.
But putting it out, we would just cover it back. But watching how they like drowned it and made sure, so I took that from them, because the last thing I would want is to be the cause of something like this.
Yeah.
I'd feel so bad, especially burning, being responsible for burning people's houses down, or
yeah, you take accountability for your actions and you be like, yep.
Like these wood haulers, they're not going to take accountability. And if they find them, did you say they found?
The news source said that they have 2 that they're questioning.
Did you do the fire? No, All right. Yeah, what are they going to do? And how can you put I know they could do jail time, but on Navajo,
I don't know. They should make them go out and plant some trees. They don't give back. That would also be a respectable thing to do.
It's on federal lands, so the FBI always gets involved, and then they're just so, I don't know, so busy or lazy.
Everyone gets involved, even to try to contain this. You have to have
oh yeah,
you have to work with the state, you have to work with federal, you have to work with tribal.
BIA.
And people don't understand that there are many parties involved when you're trying to do something.
And that's what takes them so long to even get started. Because remember, Boo was saying,
Ew.
like, we're working with these other agencies and trying to develop a plan. Like, hurry up. Like,
Remember when you took a picture with him?
yeah. And I was like, oh, I wanted to talk to you about Onsfoot. And then he's like, hey, talk to this guy. And he's like, pop me off. And then this other guy, I was talking to him and he took my email and he's all, we're going to contact you within the week. I never got anything.
Did you see that picture? It's floating around social media, and I don't know if it's AI generated, because nowadays it's like, was that AI? Like, you kind of question everything. But
yeah, people are starting to fall for these AI things.
did you see that Jonathan Nez was a firefighter?
No, I didn't see that. But it's probably AI.
Is it AI?
I don't know.
Oh my God. It looks real. I'm like, oh, good for him. He's like
your
changing.
Your check is in the mail. I thought you were gonna say
infamous-
Jonathan Nez on a skateboard.
Was he on a skateboard?
No, Boo was.
I think it's fake.
I think it is.
It looks real. It looks believable. So I'm pretty sure there are people who think it is real.
Your check is in the mail.
You love that.
Yeah, I want to get the checks.
I know y'all have a lot of, like, people of the Diné Nation have a problem with Boo right now. I think we all have a problem with Boo. Boo is Boo.
People are booing Boo.
Booing Boo. He's not cool, man.
Come on, Boo. Use
Not
that
cool.
ED. Is it ED or is he PhD? I don't.
Is he?
I don't know.
Huh. Interesting. Anyways, so modern day scouts, they're really good. We need them.
Yeah, these hot shots, they know their shit and they put their life on the line and they really do help put out these fires. And it's not easy.
And do you think that they hold traditional land knowledge from ancestors?
I think so, because when on these big, huge, giant fires, they always call in Navajo hot shots. They always call in like Apache hot shots. They always call in these indigenous groups that know the land. Even in they call them out to California, those fires, and they just know.
There's a book called Research is Ceremony by Sean Wilson, and he talks about one of his family members who defines what indigenous means, and you just kind of have to understand it. But he says that in Latin it means born of the land or springs from the land. So you can take it as that, born of its context or born of that environment. When you create something from an indigenous perspective, you're creating it from that environment and from the land that it sits in. With indigenous peoples and their traditions and customs, they're shaped by the environment, the land, their relationship, their spiritual, emotional, and physical relationship to that land. It speaks to them and it gives them their responsibility for stewardship, and which, you know, we're going to discuss a little bit more. But he's also talking about being indigenous. It means also having that relationship with the land or the connection to the land. Mm-hmm. So a lot of those techniques that have been passed down to these Navajo scouts, I do believe that they do hold on to that traditional land knowledge, and they make sure that maintaining the connection to the land during these emergencies has to be significant. It has to be important. The Diné historically practice cultural burning, prescribed burns,
control burns,
to keep the land healthy. I think there was I saw an animation of that, how that process worked long before colonization. I don't think obviously, if there were forests, like big, gigantic forest fires like there are today, I'm pretty sure they would have seen that, in other parts of the world.
Mm-hmm. And well, they do in Africa. They would do control burns too.
Yeah, well, they're indigenous to their land too. Mm-hmm. So I think that's why I'm really emotional. I about this. Not only does it affect me personally, but just that whole relationship with the land and that connection. And like I said, my grandmother is pretty much the last of her generation to be culturally tied to that land. So in a way, it's heartbreaking. Well, not in a way, it is heartbreaking. But, so yeah, Navajo Scouts are important. I wanted to bring up that those practices of doing those prescribed fires,
control burns, yeah, prescribed burns, same thing.
They're suppressed by federal policies. Did you know that?
I wouldn't doubt it, and that's why a lot of those fires were raging in Cali.
Yeah. It's always until something big or extreme happens before they do any changes. Like they don't want to prevent any of those things. They just wait for it to happen and then they act on it. But
they're not proactive, they're reactive.
Yes. But I don't know how true this is or like how far it's going. Tribal agencies are working to restore prescribed burns. Yes, prescribed burns.
Control burns.
So yeah, I don't know how far they are with that. I don't know because I haven't really heard anything like, are you moving forward or is it just on like the back burner?
I remember when those California fires were going on in January, they were talking about that, bringing back, because a lot of the indigenous out there were like, yeah, well, that's because you guys didn't allow us to do these controlled burns or no one did them. And they were talking about letting people do that. And then who knows? Have they done it? Are they going to?
Right. And bridging that gap, you need to advocate for more traditional ecological knowledge to be included in the management, like fire management strategies. That's really important. So that leads into like some of the challenges that many communities face in regards to this. Many of them are under-resourced.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Under budget.
They have old equipment. Like you said, lack of funding.
They're running off of volunteer crews.
Aging infrastructure. There's a lot. God, I don't even know where to begin with that. So I remember as a kid in Klagetoh, there's a fire station there. And I remember it being active on almost the daily. I forgot to bring this up in the episode with my sister, but one time, I don't remember the reason she got pissed off. She was dramatic. Tauruses are dramatic, just like our middle. She took off and we couldn't find her. And I was getting really worried. I felt like the only one who was really worried about her after several hours.
Everyone else was all,
yeah.
She'll be back.
Yeah. My mom was like, she'll come home. Like, don't worry. And I was like, no, it's getting dark. The lights are turning on. Couldn't find her. Here she was on the roof. I don't know how she got up there.
She's hiding out on the roof, huh?
They called I want to say they called the fire department and got her down. I don't know. Maybe that was my imagination. I don't know. I remember one of the firefighters though was a Kalani. He still is. Oh God. Anyways,
did he just pee on the fire and put it out?
No, he was just a bad influence. He used to follow my mom around.
He's all, hey,
God, he used to be he wasn't a Glani before. He was a really good firefighter and then like just went into kind of like a downward spiral.
That sucks.
Fire crews, they're often made up of those local volunteers, but there's a few and far between, especially with the Oak Ridge.
Oh, those crews, they come in from all different agencies and they got to make their plan and work together.
But those are some of the challenges is that there's not enough volunteers.
Yeah, I could see that.
And with the challenges, we talk about I want to talk about the climate justice, like why native lands are more at risk or susceptible to things like this. It has to do with historical disposition and how we were forcibly removed from these lands that were fertile and resource rich. And the reservations are located now in just marginal, arid, flood prone, or fire prone regions.
Mm-hmm.
And then without that cultural knowledge of how to maintain like just good
Casual.
Yeah. Balance.
Don't get out of balance.
Like we're in those fire prone areas now because it's so dry, just the lack of resources. Just
global warming too. There's just no rain. I know here we've got rain the last few days and it's super humid here. But up there it's
the weather is weird here as well. It's just all a part of those climate extremes that the change is real.
Yeah, that wind was crazy.
Yeah. So
the Mad Max dust storms.
That plays a factor. We talked about underinvestment, like native firefighting. Like I said, I saw them as a kid. I don't see them now. And the fire station in Klagetoh, I feel like people only go there like once or twice a week. Even the one in Sanders, I don't feel like that one might be more active, right?
Yeah, that one's pretty active because that one I think is county.
Yeah, you're right. It's more state, huh?
Yeah, and I think they're funded pretty good. I remember they do have a board, like they would meet and do, vote on stuff and allocate funds, blah blah blah. But they actually have a crew there that's on clock, like.
Yeah, you're right, because it's paid for by the state, whereas reservation, like all the water systems, the native firefighting, like I said, and just environmental protections are all under resourced and underfunded, underfunding and infrastructure, emergency responses. Oh God, don't get me started on that. Emergency responses.
Please wait 2 days and we'll be there.
Remember when you had that? I'm laughing now because you're alive, but you had a horrible allergic reaction to Tylenol. And I Googled it and it said that you could die. I'm not laughing. It's not funny.
That was so funny.
You were passed out. You were like, I saw blood.
I went Mimi's. Oh yeah. When that happened, like I remember it like just went whoosh, and
you passed out.
I was dreaming during that time. I was like out. And I just remember like blood like everywhere. And
no, but I called a first responder and the emergency lady. I was calm. I was trying to tell her where to come, like where the location was. And she tells me, shut up. She told me to shut up.
Because what'd you say?
Because she kept asking, like, she was like, where's the address? And I was trying to tell her, because you know how hard it is to tell the address for the res.
Was she a dispatcher from probably Springerville?
I don't know.
Yeah, because they sent them out to weird.
But she was John, because she was like, shut up.
Shut up, you bitch. Excuse me.
I did say that. I was like, what? I was like, I am being calm. You guys aren't listening to me. So I was like, who is your supervisor? What is your name?
I'm going to tell
Do you know how the fuck?
Yeah, you should have said that. And they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. We'll be right there. We know where you live.
No, I hung up on her and I called back. That was so rude.
Did you get a different person or was it the same?
I did.
Okay.
Because remember the ambulance came out and you refused them?
I was like, get away from me.
I was like, damn it.
Yeah, they just checked my
yelled at me.
Blood pressure. And then I had a bunch of hives, huh?
Mad at you. I was like, just go to the hospital. Somebody
I don't
Told me
wanna,
to shut up.
it's going to go away anyways. I don't want to go. Is that what I was saying?
I don't know, but I did make you take Benadryl, so I healed you.
Oh, that suppository? Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
I do remember when I was younger, that fire department there, and there's Perko Valley Fire Department in Sanders used to be like more friendly, all open. They would go to the schools and like be part of the parades and this and that. But now when you go there, it's like everything's locked up, and it says like do not call, or you could don't ring the bell unless it's emergency. Or
Well, did they use the water from the Perco
to drink.
to spray?
Oh no.
Did they use uranium water?
Well, there's no water in there, so
And if there's uranium in it.
yeah.
Which brings me to another why native lands are more at risk. Environmental racism. So extraction industries like coal, uranium, oil,
fracking,
logging.
Yeah, that's like wood haulers.
Yeah. So they were pushed onto Navajo lands, and they leave behind their trash. It's like contaminated, poor soil.
Oh yeah,
Just
like
they damage the ecosystem.
uranium spills,
Assholes.
coal mining, the whole Peabody coal mine.
And all that shit, it increases those risks of drought, of erosion, fire. We did talk a little bit about climate change, how it's more intensified. And I think you and I were talking about like how just the weather itself, we can see that change, because when we were kids, like it, for instance, Sanders, you said it wasn't that windy at all when you were a kid. I don't remember it being like that either.
And when it was windy, it was short, but now it's like year round.
It's odd. And I know around here we've been having that Mad Max weather, but people who live in this area have said that though, you know, that's never happened before.
It's not as free. Yeah, it was crazy.
It's not common at
and
all.
when we first moved here, it wasn't, that first year wasn't like that at all.
No,
But
it was
this
more
year,
humid.
it was just.
So there's less snowpack, there's higher temps, there's extended droughts, extreme weather hitting already fragile lands a little bit harder. Like we said, with the wind, that's got to be the worst. Colonial systems are disrupting the land care by banning traditional stewardship. And by that, that's like how we take care of the land. So there are policies in place that ban those cultural burnings, which have been practiced, I want to reiterate, for thousands of years to keep the land in Hoja.
Yeah, keep that balance.
There's bans on hunting, but I want to know more about that. Like, I thought when we went to that hunting class,
hunter safety course,
that I didn't think that there was bans on hunting.
No, they have seasons, and I think they do a really good job as far as game management and how they decide how many tags they're going to release for elk, deer, bear, even cougars. Like, I wouldn't want to hunt those. I would do deer and elk, but they do manage that game pretty well. I think that.
Okay. Yeah, grazing practices need to be, like, we need to re-educate. I think a lot of, people overgraze.
Yeah, and that happens a lot. That's why in a certain area on those grazing permits, they allow like 10 head or whatever. And when they'll catch people with like 50 head, 40 head. Yeah.
It fucks up the land, and then you got to move your herd elsewhere and let your land breathe. Most people don't do that.
And on Navajo, they do have a lot of feral horses.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Yeah, that's another problem. At least it's not like in Texas, they have those hogs, those feral hogs.
Yep. Tribal lands were subjected to a maze of just federal, state, and tribal jurisdictions, which makes it harder to respond quickly to the fires or any type of emergency, whether it be like climate or what would you call it? Like civil.
Taking Tylenol.
Like taking Tylenol. Exactly. There's that extractive mindset. And I guess I was going to talk about that in the beginning, but I kind of changed my mind. So there's that extractive mindset, which I'll probably talk about in another episode. We have those settler colonial systems that, value the land for extraction, and they don't want those relationships with the land. They're greedy. They take.
They just want the land.
Yep.
No relationship.
Nope.
No hit it and quit it. They just want the land.
Obviously, that's a disruption of kinship-based land ethics. And then we can't forget that boarding schools and the cultural erasure. So that's still problematic. I mean, that's still part of our trauma. The generations of Native youth that are separated from their elders who have that knowledge, the traditional ecological knowledge.
Yeah, and they weren't able to pass it on because the kids were in boarding schools. Yeah.
And even though that knowledge is lost, I know that we're trying to reclaim it. And the whole point of our podcast, how we're trying to reclaim that because of what was lost. I really hope that we can just come together with reclaiming that Indigenous stewardship, because it's part of healing. But we do need to learn how to restore cultural practices, like practicing sustainable harvesting. I didn't really talk about that, but that's part of it too. Replanting traditional foods and medicines, replanting trees whenever they burn down. Mm-hmm. That would be such a good project.
Well, what happened in 2007? Why didn't anyone go out there and replant trees? No one did.
Because we can't. Just kidding.
Your grandma's all, get out of here. And they're all, no, we're planting it.
I guess we could have, but.
No, but why didn't they get Navajo Nation or some,
the chapters,
agencies, chapter go out there and plant along that whole area that was burned? I
know. When we hire these kids to work for the summer, at
the chapter house?
Some chapters, they'll do things like shear sheep for the elders, which is really nice. They'll pay them for that. But I think this is part of reclaiming that, restoring that cultural practice. I think you can, have them go plant those seeds, go plant a pine or something, because I know pine takes a while to grow.
Yeah, it takes a while.
But we have all this grant money too for agricultural purposes that we could use to do shit like that, but we don't. It's mind blowing. It's so aggravating.
Remember when we drove into Yellowstone and they had all those trees, one whole area, in 10 years, 20, 40, and then it went on, and you just see how long it takes for them to get that big. Mm-hmm.
I've seen things like this, rebuilding of indigenous lands that are desolate, that were ruined by colonization, by colonizers. There are conservation efforts where people go out and replant the trees. There was one who plants 100 trees a day. You just kind of got to hope for the best too. Out of that 100, how many trees are going to survive? But he's still out there doing it. We could get our kids to do that, So building those tribal conservation corps would help. Supporting Native scientists. Shout out to my cousin who's one. Yeah. And land stewards, returning the decision-making power back to the tribes.
Yeah, that'd be key.
And not the Navajo Nation government, because obviously, boo, don't.
Well, they barely made a decision on their budget, and they've been trying to, somehow.
Pause it real quick.
We need those healing relationships.
Yeah.
Because land is family.
Land is
Whenever I go to the land,
and take a poops.
I don't poop there.
You don't do that, do you? When we go camping,
I don't poop.
you don't. You save it for the city.
Yeah, unless we're in the camper, I'll take a deuce in there.
Did you take a deuce in there?
I did.
Oh,
I think,
damn!
I think you christened it.
I did.
Yeah, you sprayed the bowl.
Then Milo.
And then Milo
did big old dump. Then oh my God, Jackson.
Yeah, I think we all.
Salem didn't.
Yeah, Salem did it out in the woods in secret.
He probably did.
In his pants.
Land is
Yeah, land is family. Reconnecting to those. Wait.
Just say it rebuilds.
Yeah. Land is family. Yep, reconnecting to the land can rebuild your spirit, your mental, your mind, and your strength, your physicality, working the land.
Working out.
Yeah, chopping woods.
Chopping the dead woods.
Chopping the dead woods.
Take what you need.
Pulling out at deadwood.
Climate resilience.
Resilience.
Climate resilience. Indigenous knowledge isn't only about our past. It's a solution for climate future, climate resilience. That word is always going to be funny to me because it sounds so much like resilient.
That's what I think of too.
I know. It's so hard to change that.
Yeah. But we know what we mean.
Resilient isn't a word, is it?
And well, she was trying to say relevant.
I know.
But she said resilient. So it's a word now.
Okay.
Well, studies show that land managed by indigenous does a lot better, has higher biodiversity, and the climate is way more stable.
Yay. We're going to talk a little bit about how we can help, how you can help, ways to support Navajo firefighters, Diné firefighters, ways to support the community. There's a lot of people who are displaced, and then we're just going to have to focus on rebuilding. So we're going to talk, Gabe's going to give you a little info on how to donate, where to donate. That can also be found on our Instagram, our social media pages. And then encourage to learn and teach traditional stewardship practices. Learn to relearn the cultural practices, the cultural ways that our ancestors, how we have relationships to the land, how we're supposed to stay whole. But I want to say thank you to our ancestors. Thank you to our scouts,
The hot shots,
our modern protectors, and thank you to our listeners for being there. We're all family here. We're all that's part of the healing process, and we invite you to share your own stories, how things like this have affected you. This forest fire, now burning through our land again, it cuts deep, not just into the trees or the soil, but into who we are as Diné. I still carry the weight of the 2007 fire, remembering the once vibrant forests that surrounded us. Those trees were more than just scenery. They were the relatives who stood by me as I grew. I used to herd sheep among them, climb their branches, and dream about building a home beneath their shade one day. They were family. They were part of the stories that shaped us. I can still hear my Che's voice echoing around the old house, a place even the animals recognize as safe. Now, looking at that scorched landscape, I feel a deep ache, a disconnection from the earth that once held us so gently. In the words of Sean Wilson, relationships aren't just with people, but they're with the land, the water, the animals, and the spirit of a place. That connection is sacred. My grandmother's generation still lives in that way, grounded in relationship with the land. But I worry, are we losing that bond? Are we forgetting how to be in good relation? I wonder if we can come together not just to rebuild what's been destroyed, but to remember how to live in Hojan, how to care for the land as a relative and not just a resource. That question stays with me, heavy with grief, but also heavy with hope. What steps could you take, even small ones, to support Indigenous stewardship and climate in your community?
All right, here are some ways you can donate and help out with the Oak Ridge Fire. All chapter houses on the Navajo Nation are taking donations, so you can donate your non-perishables. If there is need for pets, the Department of Diné Education has kennels. McKinley County Humane Society is helping out with the pets there.
If you need your pets taken care of.
And if you're in the Gallup area, you can donate at the Cowboy Iron Gym. They are accepting donations there. For people in the Phoenix area, PIMC is taking donations in Building B. So drop off non-perishables there and do what you can.
And make sure you donate things that you would need in a crisis, personal hygiene stuff, blankets, water is always needed.
Canned goods.
Feminine hygiene products, like don't forget about us women's diapers, formula,
baby food,
things like that. Don't forget about your elders. Don't forget about the babies, the kids. The elders also need depends and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So be mindful. Just be open-minded with what you can get for like the essential needs.
Only donate to trusted accounts and places. Be careful because some people's
spaghettis get taken away.
Oh, yeah. I heard about that story.
Amber Banali. She said she made a big pot of spaghetti and took it to the chapter for donations. And then she heard from one of the volunteers that one of the chapter officials' family members took it for themselves. SMH. Make sure your donations don't get stolen. Greedy Johns everywhere. Mad emoji. That looks like some good spaghetti.
Really?
Yeah, I would have taken that too.
You're like, I will make sure this gets utilized in the best way possible. You bring it home.
How many people is that going to feed?
I don't know how deep that pot is.
It wasn't even a pot. It's like a pan of spaghetti.
A plate.
With like a barely any.
Don't be cheesy. Don't be cheap on those noodles. They're cut up noodles too.
Yeah. So just donate to trusted sites.
Yep.
Use your smarts.
Use your smarts, not your farts.
Oh.
Because that might start another fire. And check our Instagram. We're going to be posting more info on there.
All right. Go on net.
All right. Bye-bye.
Over here to Mr. Gabriel.
I want to be a fireman.
Why is that?
Because I like to put out fires.
Oh, okay.
Because when there's a fire over there, I put it out.
All right, thank you.
The hose.